Coming up on tonight's programme, we'll be joined on the sofa by a world-respected professional kickboxing champion.
That's right. Representing England and Libya, he's been preparing himself for the Z1 World Title Championships in Malaysia in just a week's time. He joins us now in the green room. Welcome to the show, Salah, who's also known as the Beast.
The Beast! We love the Beast. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
And how are you this evening?
I'm great, thank you.
You're going to be telling us where that name comes from?
Definitely.
The Beast. The Beast. Can you give us the Beast with a loud growl? Shall we count you in?
That only
1,
happens in the ring.
2,
Only in the
3.
ring.
Beast.
He's not going to do it. That wasn't
Only
good
in the
enough.
ring.
We'll have to ask him to do it on the show, maybe. Our first guest of the night is a world-renowned kickboxing world title holder.
That's right, and he's off to Malaysia in just a few days' time to hopefully compete again in another tournament. This is, of course, Salah, who is also known as the Beast. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
The Beast.
First of all, before we get any further, I'm sure the viewers want to know what's written on your T-shirt because it looks very bold, and we just want to know what it says.
What does it say?
I'm fly because my iman is high.
Nice, I like it.
my
Would you be
mind's
taking
high.
that to Malaysia with you?
Yes, I will indeed.
Roam the streets of Kuala Lumpur with that.
Definitely, inshallah.
Thank you for joining us once again.
My pleasure.
As we mentioned in the introduction, just over a week to go now
Yeah.
until the tournament in Malaysia. You must be looking forward to it.
Yeah, very much so. You know, all the hard work's done now. It's the easy, enjoyable part.
Yeah.
I get to compete and represent myself and my
Really,
people.
is competing easy?
Yeah, that's compared to the training, it's very easy.
When you say compared to training, what's the training involved?
Well, I train 2 to 3 times a day. That revolves around running, sprinting, weights, pad work, sparring, and a lot of stretching,
Yeah.
as well as, you know, dieting very hard.
Yeah.
You mentioned the training there, and it's quite gruesome. You take a lot of effort. You're sparring with your partners.
Yeah.
Must take a lot of effort for you to do that. How
Definitely.
do you manage that very special regime?
Definitely. I mean, with time, you know, you get used to everything. But more than the body, it's mentally as well. You know, it's a lot mentally. So you have to kind of prepare every morning, knowing that it's going to be hard on the body, hard on the mind. But I mean, with time, you know, you do eventually get used to it, and you know, you just can push yourself to achieve more.
Tell us about this tournament in Malaysia, the Z1 tournament. Sounds like a car, but it's not.
No, it's not, unfortunately. I wish I had a car if I want it. But yeah, it's the Z1. It's a very elite tournament in Malaysia. Only some of the best top athletes get to fight on it. There's myself. There's a champion from Malaysia, a champion from Thailand, and a French champion. And it's going to be held over 2 days, the 2nd of November and the 3rd of November. And if you win the first fight, you get to go to the final. And if you win the final, you get to become the Z1 world champion.
Wow.
And after becoming the world champion, you get to then, you know, have more opportunities to fight abroad. And you kind of, you know, work your way up in the ranking system.
Now, you really are competing with the best. Only 20 participants.
Yeah.
So to win something like this,
Yeah.
it must be an incredible achievement.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, especially to be the youngest, you know, participant.
Oh, you're the youngest in the
yeah,
whole tournament?
In the whole tournament.
Incredible.
So, you know, there's a lot of pressure. But I mean, you know, winning it, and to be honest, it's just to be able to get to that kind of level and that stage, and to be able to represent myself and my family is just a great honour in itself.
Right. I mean, the sport itself is quite intense. There's a lot of danger involved as well.
Definitely.
Do you guys take special steps to prevent getting injured, or is that just part of the sport, you have to deal with it?
I mean, I've been injured before, and, you know, God knows, you know, you might get injured in the future, but I personally just think the harder you train, the less likely you are to get injured, you know.
Right.
I've been injured worse playing football, you know, with my friends, so it just depends on how you look at it. I mean, a lot of people perceive it to be very dangerous because it's a contact sport, whereas, you know, if you train hard then and you know, you just look after your body, you eat well, you train hard, then, you know, you're less likely to get injured.
You do a lot of community work as well.
Definitely.
Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to recently.
Well, you know, I believe that being a people's champion is the most important thing. You know, being able to give back to your people, your community is, you know, is vital. And I've been able to, you know, do that. I've been able to do a lot of community work, give out seminars for charity, teach the local kids, give back to my community, you know, because growing up I didn't have that many people to look up to, and there wasn't that much going on in my community. So now I'm in a very fortunate, you know, position to be able to give back to my community.
Right.
And it's just a great way of, you know, just giving back, being positive and spreading positivity.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, you know,
It
what
must be
Islam
very
teaches.
popular as well.
Yeah, well, in my community, definitely. I mean, you know, it started from nothing, you know, just going to school, getting into trouble, to now, you know, being able to influence the youths in a positive way is a great thing, you know, and it's a dream come true, to be honest.
The kids must really look up to you because you've won a number of belts in your time as well.
Definitely.
That must mean so much to you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, growing up, all I've wanted to do is, you know, become a champion and win titles and belts and that. And then I've come to realise that it's more than that. You know, it's more than having a belt, or, you know, it's the process to getting that belt. You know, it's all the time that you've put in. It's all, you know, all the effort that you put in. You get to realise, you know, that it's more than just winning a fight or a belt. You know, you're able to influence people. And to be able to do that positively at such a young age, you know, it's very important, because the youths are the future, you know. And I've always wanted to have someone to look up to, and now I'm able to be that someone that other youths can look up to, you know.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And what are the parents saying of these children? Because it must be worrying for them if kids are coming to you and saying, I want to get involved myself.
Definitely.
Is this something that is quite accepting from the parents?
I mean, a lot of the kids that I teach are usually, you know, bad kids that go, you know, spend their time in the streets. So more than anything, the parents are very welcoming, because I'm taking them off the streets, and, you know, they've got somewhere to go. And just like when I was younger, you know, after training, they have no energy to go out, you know, so they're just home, eat good and just relax, you know. They ain't got time to cause trouble or stay on the streets, you know. And I mean, with Thai boxing, it's such a positive sport, and it's, you know, got a lot of respect within the sport in itself. Then it teaches, you know, more than just how to defend yourself, and it's more than a sport, you know, to me and to a lot of these youths that I, you know, take off the streets.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay, great. Do stay with us. Incidentally, have you brought your belts with you today?
Yes, I have. They're
You
outside,
are?
yeah.
And you'll be showing us those later on in the show?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Great
stuff.
Well, stay with us. We want to see that soon. We are now going over to our first break of the evening.